Hello and welcome to the first ever reading vlog on this channel. We are moving them from TikTok to YouTube because I have a lot of things to say. This week we are tackling the Mistborn trilogy. Now, can you guys believe I've never read Brandon Sanderson in my life? I've even watched his lecture videos on YouTube about like writing fantasy books, but I've never read a single book of his. So I am beyond excited to get into his works. I've always been a little bit intimidated just by how many books that he's written and they're all in the same universe. I think it's called the Cosmere, but I actually just have no idea what these books are about. I know this has a heist. I know that a Dark Lord rules the world. I have to read the Final Empire for uni and my first class discussing this book is tomorrow. And we're supposed to have read the whole of part 1, which is around 170 pages. So we're going to try to smash that out in one sitting. I don't think that I will be able to do that just because I know that a lot of people take a while to get into this book, but we'll give it our best shot. So let's just start reading. Okay, love the map. I estimate that it's going to take me 2 books to remember every single place name, probably longer. Okay, we did it. Prologue done, 15 pages in. I'm starting part 1. I am already mad at myself for not picking this up earlier. I feel like this is something everyone should read, like starting adult fantasy. I'm 15 pages in. What am I talking about? But I can already feel the magic system is just going to be really unique. Like there's already something to do with metals, ingesting them giving you different powers, and I already am so intrigued by what is going on. And I love a good rebellion, so let's keep going. So one of the things that I definitely did not expect with this book was how funny it was. Like, it was surprisingly witty at the same time as being dark. I've also decided to annotate this book because I'm studying it. So I'm writing essays, I'll have to go back to quotes, make points. Then the problem is I have never annotated a book in my life. I've just never seen the need to. So I won't go as far as to write in this book, but I think that sticky tabs will get the job done. It is currently just past 9 p.m. I am up to page 65. I have heard a lot of people talk about how the first 100 pages or so were a real slog and really hard to get into because they just didn't know what was going on. I have not found that. The way that he introduced the magic system feels very natural. There's no instant info dumping that you find in some high fantasy books. So I'm loving it. I feel like that element of mystery and you're not really sure what is going on actually makes me want to keep reading and really immerses me in the story. So let's see how far we get into this. By the way, the whiteboard scene, one of the most iconic scenes I've ever read. Also, absolutely loving Vin and Kel. I think I'm getting between... I think I'm getting confused because of Rin from the Poppy War. Just that's the natural thing that goes to my head instead of Vin. I had to make that switch in my brain. No, loving Kel and Vin. Another thing that was refreshing to see in this book was how quick-witted Vin was. Main characters that think they're a nobody or a nothing are always a something. If I was in a fantasy book and I was called Ham... You know guys, I really can't hold fantasy books up here because it's an arm workout. Like, my arm literally hurts right now from holding this thick-ass book up. And leave it up to me to find a Six of Crows reference everywhere I look. Okay, I'm currently working, but I thought I would show you guys some PR packages that I got recently. So this first one is from the Oodie. I was mind blown when they reached out to me because I already have an Oodie that I literally wore so much that it just got, like, it went from white to yellow. I wore it that much. It was actually kind of disgusting. One thing about me is I literally cannot open packages for the life of me. Like, I'm so bad at it. When I do them for my TikToks and I want to make them, like, aesthetic, it's actually embarrassing how much I have to edit it because I get really angry at the package then as well. And then I, like, just don't want to be like, ooh, yay, package. I'm like... Just open! I ordered the space black one for that exact reason because I didn't want to get really dirty like the white one I have. It's the panda one. It's so cute. Oh my god. Oh, it's so soft. Oh, look how cute it is. Look at it. It was like a dark blue one, but this one was way cuter. I just loved all the colors. Okay, I'm gonna put it up. It's literally the middle of winter right now in Australia as well, so this is like actually perfect. I love it so much. Thank you, Woody. Wait. So this package is from Penguin. I already opened this one because I could not wait. It was so nice. They put in a little handwritten note, and this was my favorite thing about this. Oh my gosh, I just love how creative they get. So this one came with character cards, and look how beautiful these are. Like, I'm just gonna show you each of them because they are just so stunning. I thought they were so cool. Like, they remind me of the art in the Six of Crows like collector's edition books. I also got a notebook with that. Look at this art copy. It is just gorgeous. Babel meets Naomi Novik and Rebecca Ross in this romantic and sinister gothic novel, and apparently it also has dark academia vibes. Yes, two rival students. Are you actually joking? I'm really excited to read this one. I'm really excited to read everything. When I was editing my TBR video, I said that so many times. So excited to read this one. But I don't get around to any of them. We're back. Currently on page 184, about to start chapter 10. Oh my god. I can like feel the spine cracking then. The pace is definitely slowed down. We're getting a little bit of insight into some of the characters' traumas, some of their background history. And I'm really annoyed because someone in my uni class, I guess that's what I get for not doing the readings too early, but someone in my uni class spoiled what like the little excerpts at the top of the chapters means, because I had a feeling that it was something. My prediction was right in a way, but I'm still annoyed that it was spoiled because I like guessing those kinds of things, and I was ready to see that descent. I won't spoil too much.
Something that's a little bit harder for me to picture in these books is the fight scenes, how they're pushing and pulling and essentially flying through the air. Like, I literally just imagine them doing parkour.
Hello. So, over the past few days, I've been taking a break from this book and reading it in just little chunks because I could feel a slump coming on. It was nothing to do with this book, just by the way. I still think this is amazing, but it's getting slower. What I didn't want was to put it down and never pick it up again, because that can happen when you're in a slump, and like I attribute it to the book, but I'm like, no, just take your time, relax, and let yourself get into it. I am currently just over 250 pages in, chapter 15, and I've just had the first experience with like the Steel Inquisitors. They are so scary, but cool. It's so creative. Like, I love Brandon Sanderson's mind. I love that he considers everything. Like, there's no loopholes. He answers the loopholes before I think of them. Then again, I'm not the smartest reader.
Now listen, I have heard about the endings of Sanderson's books. I've heard that they're intense. I thought I was prepared, but I was not. I went through the 5 stages of grief reading this book. I think I invented a 6th stage when I was reading it. I had a feeling that what happened was going to happen, but not like that. I love that Sanderson does things that are so unexpected. I love that the storyline doesn't follow a typical fantasy story. I love that it like keeps that dark and grittiness while also having things like a little romantic subplot and like humor thrown in. I've never had any trouble not knowing what's going on or like extreme confusion. Obviously there's things that he's held back for like a reason, but I like that. I like that not everything's been revealed and it hasn't just been an info dump of the world and the magic systems, because those are very, very cool. Furukami is very cool. I love that balance idea where you have to lose something to gain something. It's very clear cut. Some of the fight scenes are a little bit harder to read because of the constant push and pull repetitiveness, and it kind of, my eyes just scan over it. But I've never been a fan of reading long fight scenes in the first place because I just lose track of like the position of characters and what's going on. It's hard to write and read action scenes, but they are still very well done. So I'm gonna continue with this and I'll update you guys later.
So you actually never got another update. All you got was this blurry time lapse. So I'm gonna give you my review now. I absolutely loved The Final Empire. I rated it 4.5 stars. It was an incredible book. The reason that I didn't rate it 5 stars was just because I would have loved a little bit more exploration into Vin's character, especially since she's the female protagonist and I loved her. But she is the reason that I'm so excited to read the sequels, because I hope that that development does go further and we learn a lot more about her. I loved it because there were some moments I could predict and others I had no idea were coming. My favorite thing about this book was how it subverts tropes but also uses those conventions that are so typical in the fantasy genre to its advantage. This book reminded me of all my favorite fantasy books like Six of Crows and A Darker Shade of Magic, and all of these amazing characters blended into one, but it was also nothing like them, because book 1 feels like an entire fantasy series. Like, the ending is what you'd expect at the end of a typical fantasy series, and that's why it's so intriguing. Because I got to the end and I was like, oh, where do we go now? And I have picked up The Well of Ascension. I've scanned over the blurb. I'm hoping for politics and military strategy, so I'm so excited to start that. I'm also going to share with you guys my favorite quote because I thought it was so clever from Sanderson's. She would probably have to figure out what that meant on her own. Experience told her that a powerful man like Kelsier would withhold knowledge from her as long as he could, stringing her along with occasional tidbits. His knowledge was what bound her to him. It would be unwise to give away too much too quickly. And I thought that was very, very applicable to the world building in this book, because Sanderson is teaching us not to give away and not to dump too much information on us in a fantasy world, because that loses the mystery and that makes us not interested as much. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I am currently halfway through, almost, the 5th season, and then after that I'm going to start with the Well of Ascension. So if you want more reading vlogs, please tell me, and if there's any other books you want me to read and vlog at the same time, let me know in the comments. I love you guys and thank you so much for watching.